Okay, so this is your tutorial for the pattern SAJU MAKI. Again, SAJU MAKI and SAJU Rigi are not really patterns, they're more for directional movement. Before you try and learn any of the patterns from any of these videos, please make sure you visited the line work tab and that you've studied the line work for the white belt section before coming to learn the pattern, and then you'll find it much easier to follow along. Okay, so it starts in parallel ready stance, Jumbi. And you raise, well, don't raise your right hand because we're doing SAJU MAKI. So you're going to take your right leg backwards. So you can take your right leg back into walking stance and look at your watch on your right hand. Ready? Because we're going to do a low knife hand, it starts slightly lower from your waist. So from on top, back to back. Ready? You should have a slight backwards movement. Okay? And then show me a low knife hand from your waist. Then as you walk forwards, you're going to pull your knife hand back. And this time you're doing a middle block. So it's from shoulder height when you look at your watch. So you're going to pull your hand back, shoulder height. Underneath this time, and show me a middle block at shoulder height. Now again, beginners, that's fine. Higher grades, you should always have some slight backwards movement before a block. But like I said, but if you're a white belt and you're beginner, just on top and underneath is all I'm after getting right. So from underneath, middle block, then pull back halfway, look at your watch. You're going to do a low knife hand, so it's a bit lower, and it's from on top. So twist your feet with a slight backward movement of the hand. Twist your feet, drive your heel back, low knife hand. Ready? As you walk forwards, pull your knife hand back and look at your watch. So walk forwards, pull your knife hand back, shoulder height. From underneath, like you're making a bird to the wall, show me a middle block to shoulder height. Pull back halfway and pull your hand back to look at your watch. Again, you're going to twist into a low knife hand, so you want it from your waist high and from on top. So with a slight backwards movement, twist, drive your heel back, low knife hand. Ready? As you walk to the back, pull your knife hand back into walking stance. Shoulder height when you look at your watch. From underneath, middle block. Pull back halfway, look at your watch. Again, waist high this time, and from on top, twist, drive your heel back, low knife hand. Walk forwards into walking stance, pull your hand back. From underneath, with a slight backward movement, show me a middle block. Okay, so that's the first 8 moves. So you bring your right leg back to ready stance. Baro. So it started with your right leg. So now you're going to do the second half left leg back. So take your left leg back and look at your watch at waist height. From on top with a slight backwards movement, show me a low knife hand, about a fist width gap higher than your knee. Ready? Walking forwards, pulling your knife hand back as you do so to look at your watch. From underneath, middle block. Pull back onto the ball of your foot. Pull your hand back, look at your watch at waist height. From on top, back to back. Twist. With a slight backwards movement, slide backwards, low knife hand. Ready? Walking forwards, pull your knife hand back. From underneath with a slight backward movement, show me a middle block. Pulling back halfway, pulling your hand back and looking at your watch. From on top, twist to face, low knife hand to the back. Walk forwards, pulling your knife hand back. From underneath, middle block. Pull back halfway onto the ball of your foot, look at your watch. From on top, twist. From waist height with a slight backward movement, slide your heel back, low knife hand. Ready? Walk forwards, pull your hand back. From underneath, with a slight backward movement, middle block. That's the end of the pattern, 8 moves in both directions. So you bring your left leg back to ready stance. Baro. Okay, so as a beginner, with this pattern, the main thing we're looking for is with your lower body, can you make a great walking stance? Because it's only walking stances in this pattern, apart from your start and finish move in parallel ready stance. And what we're interested in is, have you learned to look at your watch? Yeah, it doesn't matter what the block is. It could be a middle block, low block, back fist, rising block, any block. You always look at your watch. Okay, so what we're looking for in this pattern is low blocks and low knife hands come from on top, and the middle blocks come from underneath. Okay, so those are the main things we're looking for. So that's pattern SAJU MAKI.